Yeah, hello, welcome everybody to a new JavaPro video. My special guest today is Ruslan Synytsky. Hi, Ruslan, and thank you for your
Hello,
time.
thank you for inviting. It's a pleasure for me to provide you a little bit more information about high-end technologies. Always pleasure to talk about this.
Yeah, great. Uh, Ruslan, how was JCON for you? How was your session?
Look, in general, it's challenging. I can tell you, like to do virtual sessions, like because you don't feel people feedback, and sometimes you don't understand like what's going on. Like so, it's very important for speaker to feel it. Like so, somebody should solve this problem in the future. Like to come up with some feedback to get from the audience in some
Yeah,
way, like so but in general from other side it's good because you can do such kind of sessions from any place you are, like so you are not restricted to you're not stick to travels actually, right? So
yeah,
that's
right.
another opportunity. So there is always two sides of the coin, like something bad, something good. Like so I tried to stay on positive side. It was good actually. We prepared good material, session went well, like so
Yeah,
I hope people like it.
I think so. You had a lot of questions in your talk, right?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about you first. So, can you introduce yourself briefly?
Yeah, so I am co-founder of Jelastic project, and currently CEO of Jelastic project. I'm Ukrainian. So I was born in Ukraine, but today I'm living in the cloud. Actually, before the last year, I was living in the cloud. So now not, because airplanes are not flying anymore, and that's the problem. But today I'm living in Cyprus. Yeah. Yeah, I like this country because it's very good weather. So it's still summer here. You cannot believe, honestly. Like I was swimming the last weekend, and the people are friendly, food is good, easy to get to any country from this place. Like so for now I'm staying here till this issue finishes with corona, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I am working for a project for a long time already. It's my passion. I'm super excited. We achieved very good results. We introduced revolutionary ideas. We proved that they work, and people vote for them by money, which is number one, like proof that okay, like they like it, and yeah, like so I think I will cover some of these ideas we implemented in the meeting today. There's a meeting, yeah.
Yeah. You have a real strong background of building distributed apps. Yeah, maybe what have you done in the past with distributed apps? So I read
Okay.
it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much. So that's very interesting. I was working in a special organization which was controlling earthquakes around the world, and we were collecting data from international geophysical data centers in different countries in different formats. And we had Spark platforms, Spark computers, expensive ones, and nobody knew how to program them, honestly. Like, and I got a task from my boss, like, look, do something with them, like, And I started to learn Java at that time because it was one of the languages which you can possibly to do. You can program on these platforms. So at the end, I learned Java and I built a solution to collect data in real time from international data centers in different formats, convert them to one specific format, then to do calculation on the server side, and then expose UI through X11 interface to Windows desktops. Also, it was combined with like Ajax. It was in 2006. So when it just started, Ajax movement started. Like, so I already built at the time very sophisticated and unique system to monitor situation around the world. Like we use it to understand impact of disasters and some like geophysical issues that might happen, like or artificial issues, like when airplane crashes, like or something else. Like so, we were able to control what were the damage around. That was my work. Like I was so excited to work in such kind of direction. I learned a lot at the time. And then I moved to like some startups, you know, like some more easier ideas, but I learned a lot about commercial side, like about marketing. So I understood that just only technology will not work from business point of view. Like, so you need to tell somehow people what it does, like, and how it works. And I was working for startups that failed, you know, but you cannot learn if you don't fail. Like, so, and that's how it begins. Like, and someday I started to think about simplifying my own life, because I was developer writing code during the night, because I had work during the day, and during the night I had my idea and was working on this idea. It's very interesting. My wife was not happy, honestly, about this. Yeah, but I found a way to manage this. Like I said, like, look, wait. Someday we will compete with Google. Like she said, like, you are crazy. It's impossible. Yeah, but it worked at the end. So we built a solution. We built it for ourselves, and at the end I figure out, okay, it's not only my problem; it's problem of other developers around the world. Like, so this is how Jelastic started. Like, so.
Okay, yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think? What are the topics where the developers and the DevOps of today struggle mostly?
Oh, I can tell you from it's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
It's very opinionated, let's say, direction. It's still too complex, man. Look, it's still too complex, and there are so many problems still are not solved. Like, people do routine tasks, they repeat it like every time, waste time. Like, we can get a better cloud, let's say. There are some nice ideas on the market I like. They simplify a lot the work and the architecture. That's one point. For example, look, just simple thing. You need to choose cloud resources and go to Amazon and check how many options of virtual machines they provide. Like, it's like hundreds, like huge list. Which one I need to choose?
Yeah.
I even didn't start developing. I have a problem to choosing my size, like, you know. And then we can go, like, you know, configuration of heavability, configuration of load balancing, replication. You know, it's getting easier, but still, like, if you deal with traditional applications, you need to understand, like, how to configure this, how to troubleshoot this, you know, how to scale this actually, right? So there are a lot of challenges that are not solved yet. And containers, of course, it's another interesting direction. I'm so happy that it became very popular. We're using containers from 2011. So people figure out, like, there is a containers in 2013. Yeah, when Docker introduced it. Docker did a very good job in promotion of containers, but they were available on the market already. Like, so I remember in 2006, Sun introduced containers as well. So it was like Solaris zones probably. Yeah. Yeah, but it was not for developers at the time, right? And not many people understood what it is like. So today, like, many people understand, many people use it, but still so many just don't want to touch it, because, like, it looks like ops work, not dev work. Like, so why should I prepare my container? Like, I don't want it, honestly. Like, as a developer, I want to program so in Java or PHP, like, or any other language. Like, why I have to think, like, how to build them and deploy them? Like, it's not what I like to do. I mean, if you think from developer point of view. And now let me finish, please. And now talking about Kubernetes, which is super exciting technology. Yeah? You can scale, like, all the heavability and interoperability promise, right? But again, like, you have to have some expert inside, or you can use managed services. So it's good. There are managed services for Kubernetes, so it simplifies. But in reality, it's a complex technology. So it's a complex technology. So I hope, again, like, it will evolve and will become simpler at the end for developers.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But when I see all the conference talks, also at the JCON conference, there are many talks about Kubernetes, Docker, and scaling horizontally, distributed apps, and so. So you think, hey, this is common. So am I the only guy who is not really familiar with this tons of technologies, or am I a stupid guy, or is it really more complex than we all think? So this is the big question. So yeah, if you listen to the talks, then you must think, hey, this should be easy enough to deal with it for every developer, but it's not, right?
It is not. It is not, honestly, like so. And why people talk about this? Because people like to talk about complex tasks, like about something challenging, right? And about the future, like so. Look, believe me, like we have many customers and many partners around the world, and many of them just don't want to deal with containers at all, at all. And because they want to focus on their business stuff, like, right? I don't say like you don't need to learn. Like it depends which is your way to go. So, do you want to be ops guy? Do you want to be like dev guy or like full stack guy? Like so, which is your way? Like you need to choose. And all this complexity should be done by systems. I mean, should be solved by systems. We need a better tools. We need a better cloud. And honestly, another interesting point. Everyone talks about horizontal scaling, right? Like how to add more nodes, like stateless and so on. But in reality, we forgot about vertical scaling, which is extremely important because like if you want to get performance improvement, you need to think about vertical scaling first because it's the simplest and the fastest and the cheapest way to get performance improvement. That's number one. Second, like if you scale only horizontally and you forget about vertical scaling, most likely you choose wrong size of your virtual machine or container, like right, and you scale inefficiency horizontally, like so. It's not the best way just to think about horizontal scaling. You need to think about both like vertical and horizontal scaling. Like, so in this way, you will get the most optimal outcome.
Yeah.
My understanding.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought when I want to scale vertically, then I have to stop my machine. Then I have to choose another planet, the cloud provider. So I guess with Jelastic, we had a better solution, right? So let's talk about your session. What actually is Jelastic?
Yeah. So Jelastic is, it was founded because we wanted to solve exactly like elasticity problem. When I say elasticity, it's like granular scaling, vertical granular scaling, and without downtimes. And we did it for Java first. This is why the name Jelastic, Java Elastic, but we don't have religions about languages. We love PHP. Like father of PHP is my friend. Like we are collaborating together. We have a lot of PHP end users and customers. But we just started from Java because it was too big problem in Java. It was consuming too much RAM. It was greedy, like it was not elastic, and it was complex for service providers to offer cost-efficient hosting. Like so, we started to solve bigger problem, right? And we started right with containers at the beginning. And why we started with containers? I was playing with virtual machines at the time as well, but after I learned containers, I figure out they are scalable vertically in the way that virtual machines cannot scale. Specifically, you can increase your size of your container without downtime in runtime and just add more resources and it will work. And not every cloud provider offers this today, but it's possible. So technology is here already. And if, for example, in the past, vertical scaling range was small because we did not have big machines. Today, like vertical scaling range is huge. So you can start from 1 gigabyte and you can end up like 256 gigabyte. Like it's like 200x scaling. Like it's huge, right? The problem is again, like it's just really fresh technology. So this is why it's not like a commodity available everywhere. Like, but we as a provider, cloud provider, or let's say like intermediate company that work with cloud providers, we proved that it's possible. So we do it 10 years. We don't have any technical difficulties with this. Like, so we proved this model works. People want to get this elasticity. People want next level of pricing model, which is called like pay per use. Like, I don't need to think like how much resources I need to reserve in advance, like, because most likely I will be wrong. I will overpay or like under reserve, like, you know, and I will have performance issues.
Yeah.
And loads are not stable. Like, people are consuming more during the days and consuming less during the nights. It means we need something more elastic, right? And containers can solve this problem. But what kind of another challenge was? And we solve this as well. Like, it's not enough just scale vertically containers. You need to scale your middleware stack, because if you give more resources and your middleware software does not understand that there are more resources available, it just doesn't make sense, honestly. Like, specifically for Java, like, yeah, because Java, you start Java XMX specific parameter and it says that it's the amount of RAM available. Like, and Java cannot go beyond this amount anymore. Like, so, and but there are some solutions that can help to solve this problem already. And again, like, we did like pilots. It works. Customers are happy, and yeah, like, I believe we will see more and more like in this area. So that's this vertical scaling. You know, people actually did not estimate importance of this topic in the right way, let's say. Yeah, and this led to a lot of overpayment. I do believe cloud, many resources in the cloud just are sitting and waiting for a load. So we can make the world better, you know, the more green kind of usage.
Yeah, yeah, very interesting. And yeah, I would expect that the architecture is even simpler if when I only scale vertically instead of scaling horizontally. So the effort for developers, for testing and the deployment, everything is much more simple, right?
Exactly. Like, so it's less effort to do initial scaling. Let's say, I will say specifically initial scaling. But look, we don't want to go to the point where we say like, okay, vertical scaling is better than horizontal scaling. Never. Like, look, it's completely two different things, and you should work with them together. Like, you should have vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. But you need to, because if you miss one of them, you miss significant portion of functionality. You cannot do high availability without horizontal scaling. It's just impossible, because maybe you can do on hardware level, but it will increase your cost, and still you will have some downtime while hardware reschedules your workload to another physical node. So, like, think about vertical scaling in the way you want to boost performance. So if you miss performance, like, so vertical scaling can help you, right? That's number one. Then you want to save to improve efficiency. That's another point, right? But if you want availability, if your traffic is really huge in scale, like, most likely vertical scaling will not be enough. You still have to go horizontally. And also vertical scaling, you need to think about vertical scaling when we talk about stateful workloads, because scaling state is always difficult, you know. And people are excited with the stateless movement. I like it, but honestly, problem was not in application server level, never, you know, like, so problem is always with the data, like database. So, like, we moved state from application server to database, but now what should we do with databases? Should we host them inside containers or not? If we host them in containers, okay, what should we do with state now? Like, how? So, and that means stateful and elastic vertical scaling containers, containers vertical scaling are the right solution for such kind of workloads, let's say.
Yeah, very interesting. And you also showed in your session how to track metrics. So maybe you can talk a little bit about these tools you provide.
Yeah. So for metrics, you need to measure. Actually, it depends what you want to achieve. Yeah, but as an operator, you need to measure almost everything. Like, what is the current consumption? What was the maximum peak? what is the response time, what is the disk space available now, what is the network speed at the moment, is there any like latency delays. Like you need to honestly collect very comprehensive set of metrics to see the real picture. And you need to also collect errors, how many errors customers face, you know, like maybe do some anonymization without collecting end customers data, like, you know, personal information. But you need to have some tools to understand like what is the real situation, like, because you might be happy thinking like everything is fine, but your customers, let's say at least 10, like 10% is getting errors, like, and you don't even understand this, right? So you need to have this visibility. Jelastic mostly focuses on provisioning, scaling, high availability, elasticity, continuous integration, continuous delivery. We do provide some of metrics, but only honestly like for initial kind of understanding, like for containers. Like we can show you what kind of how many resources were consumed, how much resources were consumed by containers, right? And speed of network and so on. If you want to, but you need to go deeper inside application server. In this case, you need to install additional software like New Relic, right? Like so, Datadog. Yeah, I believe. Yeah. So I don't want to say specific names, like again, like because we try to keep neutrality. So many companies prefer like different solutions, but there are very good application monitoring tools available in the market. So and Jelastic supports many of them. We don't have limits on this. Like, yeah, that's how it works.
Sounds good. Yeah, where does Jelastic run? So can I decide on which public cloud provider I can install Jelastic? Is there an install process, or can I run it on on-premise hardware? So,
yeah, very good question. One of our advantages comparing to other cloud solutions is the freedom of choice. We enable end customers to choose different local service providers in many countries. We are a software company. We don't operate data centers. We build software because we know how to do it and we love it, and we do it better than service providers. But service providers, data center providers, I mean, they know how to operate data centers better than we, because they do it like whole life, let's say, right? And we collaborate together with many such kind of partners in different countries. And this brings freedom of choice. So we have multiple data centers, more than 80 in 36 countries. And the number is growing every year. We're adding more and more partners. And if you don't like, for some reason, one provider, there is a big chance that there is another provider in the same country or in the neighbor country. And you can easily migrate from one provider to another one because it will be the same Jelastic, the same UI, the same API. And what I like about this model, it brings some kind of competition, right, between service providers for quality. And this is what we need, because like if you have one big vendor who is not afraid anymore of competitors, like, you know, superpower is always bad. And we drive competition. We drive competition in hosting market, let's say. And in addition, this is when you think about public cloud, right? So if you want somebody is managing your infrastructure, so like some kind of managed services. For larger companies that have additional requirements for data privacy, and they cannot migrate to public cloud, financial organizations, healthcare organizations, government organizations, they operate their own data centers. But these data centers can be converted to cloud as well, to modern cloud. Just installing Jelastic on top of this infrastructure will simplify your developer's life. Will reduce amount of work for ops guys. Will improve efficiency of your data center. So you can put 3-5 times more workloads on the same infrastructure because containers, because elasticity again. Like so, we can talk about elasticity from service provider's point of view. You will learn even more like about this vertical scaling, how important it is. Like so, we're talking now only about importance for developers, but for service providers, it's very important as well. Like because you can utilize your infrastructure in a very efficient way. at the end, and a final destination, let's say, like it's a multi-cloud, because you don't want to be locked to one cloud, honestly, like, for many reasons. Something might go wrong, or you might have different customers that have contracts with different cloud providers, right? Or they have different requirements. One can say like, I don't care about money. I need to be hosted in Amazon, right? Like Jelastic can be installed on Amazon as well. Like, and at the same time, for example, you want to have very good performance for in a cost-efficient way, we can install on top of bare metal somewhere renting infrastructure like big servers and providing you superior performance. So for the same amount of money, right? Because still, like if you buy virtual machines comparing to bare metal, it's a significant difference. Like, so such kind of models, I hope I explained how it works.
Yeah, very good. And is it possible for ISVs to write or to build some services to include this in Jelastic? Is this possible?
Yeah, so we have nice use cases. For example, we call it SaaSification. So when in the past, for example, you provide software and you provide licenses to end customers, but today more and more companies thinking about offering own cloud and own services. It's possible to package your software in a simple, specific way, make it scalable, and offer it as a service on top of Jelastic public clouds or on top of Jelastic private cloud. So, and it simplifies again the life. We have use cases when company came to us and they converted their traditional applications, Java applications, they packaged them into containers, and they went to market very quickly, and they started to earn money fast, and they spent very little effort because Jelastic did everything for them, like the scaling, there is everything is covered by API. They just built simple UI on top of our API, and yeah, like it's very nice success story because they run on top of Amazon, Google, and they actually run on top of OVH with bare metal. So they have different kind of experience, but it's unified interoperability at the end. And another use case for financial organizations, they have specific requirements to keep data in a country, like data sovereignty, like all the data privacy regulations. They choose different providers when they have customers in Brazil. They run applications inside Jelastic Brazilian partner. Like when they have customers from Sweden, they run our partner in Sweden. In Switzerland, the same. Like, so they choose different providers according to their customers' needs. So this is how it works.
Very interesting. Yeah, one of the last questions, maybe. What's about the pricing? So how do you charge your customers?
This question is the most important, honestly.
Mostly.
So exactly, yeah. Why? I need your help. So guys who listen to me, I need your help to help you. What's going on? Today, many cloud vendors offer pay-as-you-go model. So, but they promote it as pay as you use, which is not reality. Like, so you pay for the limits always. Like you go and buy virtual machine, like 16 gigabyte of RAM, you use only 1 gigabyte or 8 gigabyte, like you pay for the limits. It doesn't matter how much you consume. It's not real usage, consumption. So, but again, like cloud was promoted as electricity, you pay as for the electricity. No, like, man, like you don't buy chunks of electricity in advance. Like you don't pay for limits electricity. Maybe like big organizations, they do, like, but as a normal consumer, like you usually pay like what exactly you use. Like, you have this counter, like, and it comes like, and this works like this. Same should be in the cloud. Like you don't need to pay for the limits. You don't need to worry like how much limits you have to put at the beginning. You need to pay exactly how much your application consumes in specific period of time. So this is what we do. Regardless of your limits, you can set high limits. You never, in like 99%, you never go to this limits, honestly. Like so, but you have this insurance. Like if something happens, you can go up and you can get alert. Like so, your consumption is growing. But we offer real pay per use model. And what kind of help I need you? Go to your service provider and ask, when are you going to give me pay per use model? We need to convert more service provider to this next generation model because it's more efficient for end customers. Many providers just oversell infrastructure, so they sell your resources several times to many customers. Like, we must stop it. It's unfair. So this is how it works in public cloud. In private cloud, the model is different because you already bought the infrastructure, so you already paid for it, right? We charge per server node, like per big server node license. Like, so it depends on how many licenses you want, like how many servers. So we give very good discount, but it's very cost efficient. We have two large competitors. I will not name them, but you can easily figure out, like, so, and our price like about 5 times cheaper. It doesn't mean we are worth it. Like, it means like we are less expensive team. Like, so we don't have so many expensive executives. Like, so that's the reason. Like, we don't, spend a lot of on marketing, at least yet. Like, so that's how it works.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Ruslan, for whom is this suited? So who should use Jelastic? If for bigger companies, also for smaller companies. So what do you say? All users, right?
Yeah, I understand. The answer is the following: who wants to use cloud? So what kind of companies? Most likely, like everyone, right? Because cloud provides advantage. So smaller guys can save money with pay-per-use. So look, you need to think in the following: like, if you're a smaller guy, go to a public cloud, buy like few containers, like, I don't know, like, or like you will be able to set up start-stop scheduler, so you will save money. Like, so it's suitable for small projects. Like, we have many small medium businesses running on top of Jelastic. Because again, it simplifies the work. You don't need to have ops guys, because it's like Jelastic is like Iron Man suit. You jump and you become very powerful. You can do stuff, crush this DevOps task with this Iron Man suit, and it's very cost efficient because pay-per-use model, and service providers speak your language. Most likely, we have in your country, and data is staying in your country, so it's not managed by foreigners, let's say. So then medium-sized companies can go to public cloud as well, or can go to private cloud depending on their budget. So, and large companies, I do recommend go to multi-cloud actually. So that's the way to go, like, because you can put production workloads according to requirements of your customers, and save money on dev and test workloads, and make it cheaper. And then, like, so multi-cloud is a must today. And so this is how I'm thinking about cloud today. Yeah, but cloud is for everyone. You just question, like, where exactly you go, like, so.
Very good, very interesting, and was a good wrap up. So thank you, Ruslan, for your time, and was great to have you at JCON. Super exciting stuff. So everybody who is interested in Jelastic can now watch the recorded session of Ruslan. It's available on JCON.1. And yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you, Ruslan, for your time. And if you liked our video, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you very much for the interview. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.